Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. You're watching the Morning Forecast Show. Today's top story is that Secretary Scott Bessent has declared that he does not care about the stock market and he will fight China on this tariff front, and that means that they'll hit China back hard, not regarding the stock market. That is today's breaking news, and we could be heading into a major correction. The S&P 500, as we've spoken about, is about 20 to 40% overvalued, depending on how you look at it and how earnings will be. A lot of people have been calling it an AI bubble. I do think we are in a bubble. The question is, when will it pop? Today, we will have a deep dive on about 6 ways you can. I'll bring you the title and bring you exactly what it is. It's the six mistakes wiping out retail investors in 2025. I'll be telling you those mistakes so you don't make them. So thank you everyone for tuning into the Morning Forecast Show. We've got a lot to go through, but after the show we've actually got a speech from Fed Waller, which will be interesting. This time he's talking directly about inflation and also jobs market and interest rates. So that will be interesting. Remember to get your newsletter every single morning. I see a lot of people in the chat saying great newsletter, interesting newsletter this morning. So I'm glad everyone's got their newsletter this morning. Remember, you can get it on the webpage, you can get it on the app, you can listen to it on the app, you can get it in your email. It's free. There is an annual plan if you want to support. If you want to support the newsletter plus get all those extra benefits, then you can get it as well. But today's title is the 6 mistakes wiping out retail investors in 2025. We've got Paxos, we've got the top stories of the day. We'll quickly go through them, and then we will come on to the tariff news, the speech, the 6 mistakes, and everything like that. So first things first, everyone please take a second to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. It takes 1 second to do both of them. Please do it. And when you do subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell as well. So Paxos is the stablecoin issuer. Accidentally mints $300 trillion worth of PYUSD, the PayPal USD. 300 trillion, that's enough to wipe out the US debt, isn't it? They minted that by accident. I mean, doesn't that show some concerns in the market? So Paxos briefly mints 300 trillion PYUSD due to an internal error exposing the risk of centralized stablecoin issuance. This is the story we're going off today, which can bring the market down. It is Scott Bessent drawing a line. Market declines won't stop US from hitting China hard. That is a statement from him. The US Treasury warns that the stock market drops won't soften trade policy towards China amid tariff tensions. There is Donald Trump in the speech we covered yesterday admitted they are in the midst of a trade war. That is, he confirmed that from the reporter's question. We covered that live last night. We've also got Kraken, one of my favorite exchanges, saying they're expanding their US derivatives business with a $100 million IG deal. Kraken's $100 million purchase of a small exchange secures its CFTC license and deepens US regulated crypto access. We've got Neste, or Nestle, however you want to call the company, the giant company. It rallies 8% after announcing a 16,000 jobs cut plan. Nestle stock jumped after announcing 16,000 job cuts to boost margins and reconstruction under new leadership. Another tariff story here. India's exports to the US plunge as Trump's 50% tariffs bite. India's US exports dropped 11 or about 12% in September after steep tariffs hit key sectors like textiles and jewelry. And then, of course, we will come on to our deep dive, the psychology of markets, mistakes in a bubble era. We are in a bubble era, and there will be plenty of mistakes people will make, and this video might save you a lot of money. Remember, we never give financial advice. These are thoughts and opinions only. Please do not buy or sell based off anything I say. We'll come on to that deep dive, and I hope people learn a lot, because our goal here is making sure no one gets left behind, and we give you the most real, most honest information and try and help every one of our subscribers, viewers, members, everyone that watches. Retail investors often underperform due to emotional trading. Discipline and risk management are key in volatile markets. Sorry, discipline and risk management are key in volatile markets. We'll come on to that. The one big thing today, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent made it clear US trade policy won't bend to market drops. They don't care about the stock market. Well, that's what Secretary Scott Bessent is saying. Although the stock market right now is up pre-market, it's very close to all-time highs. Language like that coming out of the government is a little bit scary. So he says he won't bend to stock market drops. After tariff threats rattled stocks, Bessent called those sell-offs noise, signaling a hard shift away from markets influencing geopolitics. Tariff tensions is shaking up trade-sensitive sectors like semis and autos. Keep an eye on sharp pullbacks, not as a signal to act, but as cues to track longer trends over short-term panic. Remember, too many people buy in too early. Buy the dip, buy the dip. Well, if you keep buying the dip, you won't have anything to buy the big drop. So keep an eye on it and have targets where you want to buy. We'll come on to the 6 mistakes people make and how not to make those mistakes. Obviously, we've got the market snapshot every day. You can see what's going on. A new addition to the commodities, I've decided to add silver. We want to be tracking silver's price now that it's at all-time highs. One of my favorite assets. I thought we might as well add it to the market snapshots under the commodities section. I hope that's a welcome addition to the people reading the newsletter. Silver is now part of the market snapshot. Every morning you can have a glance and see what the prices are. Feel like I'm about to sneeze. I apologize. I've still got some very strange illness over the last week. Hopefully it's just staying there. It's not going away. Anyway, let's go into our top stories. Let's go on to the Trump tariff news. If everyone who's just joined could hit the like button, that would be great. Are we going down or are we smarter? Let me just read some of these comments and then we'll come on to the market. We've also got a speech coming up. I will put the timer for the speech on the screen as well. Give me 1 second. I'll go through your comments as well. Let me put a timer on the screen. The speech starts at 2. We'll go over to the next stream. So I'll put it at 1:55. Okay, we do have a Fed speech coming up and we do want to cover it. So I'm going to put a timer there and say the Fed speech is next. This is coming from Governor Fed Representative Waller. That will be very interesting. And I know the speech is going to be on interest rates and inflation. So I've just put that up there so everyone knows when that next speech is coming up. So it is in about an hour's time. So let me read some of these questions. A lot of questions coming in already. Welcome everyone into the show. Hello, human being. Hello, MDL. Hello, Potato Family. Hello, Matthew. Hello, Dan. Hello, human being. Love the intro, relaxing, focusing sounds. Yes, thank you, human being, for noticing. Dan is here. I love the Martyn Lucas emojis. Ricardo says, good morning, banana heads. Ricardo says, let's hit that like button. Yes, do hit that like button. Email was very interesting. Thanks, no worries, human beings. Thank you for subscribing. Angie G says, good morning, all. Oh, it's great to have Angie here. I hope you and Bruce are going to have a wonderful day. Good afternoon, Sensei. Are you starting your day off with your lemon drink? Is it, you always have lemon in the morning? Am I correct? Lemon and honey or something like that. Yolanda says, good afternoon, Sensei, and good morning, everyone. Hello, Yolanda. Tasman says, good afternoon, everyone. Dale says, oi, oi. Mr. J. Keefe, great newsletter. Thank you so much. Human beings, I can't believe that there's even non-members that have the newsletter. I love it. Human being says, good morning, Angie, Yolanda, and again, nice you all up. Brian is here. Crypto is up today. Yes, we are up today. Yolanda says, good morning. Yolanda is thumbs up. Human being says, accident. What was an accident? Beans on Toast is here. Always here. Great to see Beans on Toast. Love the name. Trend is not broken. Will continue up. Yes, we're talking about when the bubble will burst. The bubble has not burst, in my opinion, yet, and we can go higher, but we need to be prepared for that bubble to burst, because at the end of the day, that's where most people lose all their money. Leon says, hi, I'm from China. Nice to meet you guys. Leon, don't know much Chinese. I can say ni hao. I can say ni hao ma. Lovely to have you here. I've been to China once. Went to Shanghai, Guangzhou, Beijing. Where else have I been? I think those are the places I visited in China. Lovely, lovely country. I loved it there. So welcome. Welcome to the LucasAid family. We cover the stock market, the news every single day, and we've got a great family. So Leon, Day, lovely to have you. Clocky is here. XRP is going to explode today. Michelle says, what are you going to do with your XRP? Well, if you become a member, I'll tell you all about what I'm going to do with my XRP. What's going on with XRP? And what's going on with XRP? I mean, it's doing what a cryptocurrency does. It's being volatile. If anyone wants a chart request, you can request it, or we might go through it later on in the show, but we're not focusing on XRP right now. Everything we say in this video will have an effect on XRP, and all the tips and tricks and mistakes I say will apply to XRP for sure. But Jim Rickett says, hit the like. Yes, Chicago's finest. Good morning, winners. Yes, we are winners here on Martyn Lucas's channel. More monkey business. Everyone is cashing in their junk silver. More monkey. Everyone is cashing in their junk silver. What do you mean by that? Do you have a silver business and people are coming in? Let me know. Alpha Channel says, Buenos dias. Buenos dias, fam, says Alpha Channel. Hello, welcome in. Well, I don't know any Spanish. I think that's Spanish. Wesley says, good afternoon. Praxstock says Jamie. And William Meyer says, good morning, everyone. Okay, welcome everyone welcome to the show. Let's go through our good morning, I'm new here. Oh, Isaac, you're new here. Is anyone else new here? Hello, Isaac. I can't pronounce his second name. I won't try. Good morning, I'm new here. Well, welcome to the show. We're live every day. We interact with all our audience. We go through the top stories. We cover all major events. And we try and be an honest channel. I mean, we don't do any strange sponsorships by leverage companies or scam companies. Any FTXs, we won't be here. We won't be doing that. So, and we're trying to be a little bit different to other YouTubers. I don't want to talk too badly about others, but anyway, let me know where you're from. RC says Trump is supposed to make a speech today at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. RC, we need a time zone here. Everyone's around the world. Perfect Knowledge says hello from Malaysia. Welcome from Malaysia. I'd love to visit Malaysia. I tagged you next. Thank you, RC. I'll have a look later. David Hensley here with the links. Thank you. How are you doing, Sensei? Hello, Brody, Bruce. I'm doing well. How are you? Philip says good morning from the East Coast, US. Oh, Alpha Channel's also new. Oh, welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy today's stream, and I hope you subscribe so you can catch us in all our streams. Oh, Alpha Channel's from Los Angeles. We love it. It must be very early there, LA. Again, I've not been to the US, so I don't know where everything is located, but I'm sure LA is very early right now. Just silver in knives, spoons. More monkey business. Did you say you have a silver business? How do you know this? More monkey business. Just silver knives, spoons, cutlery, and scrap. More monkey business. How do you have a jewelry shop? Do you have a gold and silver shop? Let me know. Good day from North Korea. Eli ET, always from North Korea. Walker wonders why. Hello, all. How are we doing? We're doing well. Before 5 a.m. Wow, you're up early. Why are you up so early? Not that I'm complaining. Brian says, if we have a crash, will silver and gold crash too? Initially it might, but it'll probably recover quite fast. But also, if it's uncertainty, geopolitical reasons, then silver and gold could actually go up during that crash. So if we crash, I would be very happy holding. I wouldn't, if I knew we were going to crash, I probably wouldn't sell my gold and silver, but I would sell my crypto and stocks. Put it that way. Brian, you said you were looking for 1 kilogram thing. I know we had a conversation a while ago, and I apologize for never getting back to you. But where are you looking for 1 kilogram? Because you said it's out of stock, and you've been trying to buy it for a while. Where are you looking, and what is the price of what you're trying to buy? I just want to make sure you're still getting a good deal. Because a lot of places are like hiking their premiums because they know everyone's trying to buy. I don't want you to get a bad deal. But Brian, if you can let me know where you're trying to buy your 1 kilogram silver bar and how much it's charging you if you were going to get it today. Human Being says Northwest Germany, London weather usually long. There we go. Isaac is here. He is from Nambia. No, Namibia. There's no such place. Namibia. Namibia, that's in Africa, right? No. I've heard it's lovely. Namibia. I think it's in southern Africa. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, just next to South Africa. Lovely. Look at this. Look at Namibia, guys. We've got someone from Namibia in the chat. Look at this. Where desert meets the sea. Look at that. It's lovely. Always great to share where people are from. We will come on to the news, guys. Sorry, we're just welcoming everyone into the show, and then we'll get into the news. We've got a lot to cover. And we're going to be live for a while because we've got a Fed speech in an hour as well. Waco, Texas says Juan. Leon Dide says, why is the fear index moving to fear territory but the stock market keeps going up? Because everyone's scared about a bubble. And I don't think we are. What fear index are you looking at? Maybe you're looking at the crypto fear index because of that massive crash we got recently. Maybe that's what you're looking at. Let me look at the stock market. I don't think. Oh yeah, stock market. Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Thanks for bringing that up. Fear and greed index is in the fear levels. It's because we are on edge with tariffs, with the uncertainty, with how high the market is. But again, when it's in fear, sometimes the market goes it continues to go up. Fear is normally when people like to buy. So that's why I'm not completely selling it out. That's why I've said that euphoria can continue before we get a crash. Maybe we get one more move towards greed, extreme greed, and then crash. But we need to start preparing for that crash. I can't predict, are we going to crash tomorrow or are we going to crash in a month's time? Why fear index moving to fear territory but the stock market keeps going up? Yeah, I hope to answer that. Where were we? Electrum. If we sign up, do I get a one-on-one chat at any point? Steve Owen. No, that's not a perk of Electrum. The one-on-one chat is with Martyn membership-wise, and that's if you become a gold member, but you get all the perks of Electrum plus gold. So the gold member, one of the additional perks of gold is a one-on-one chat with Martyn every month. So if you get gold, you get all the benefits of Electrum. But also in Electrum, I mean, there's about 20 to 30 people or 15 to 30 people that join on a Sunday at this point in time. So it's pretty much a very small group of us. So we answer all questions. Yeah, I don't do any one-on-ones through memberships. Alpha channel says, I'm up late. Good afternoon, Sensei, says Karen. Black, Patrick Black says, good morning. Tawaski Wells says, good morning, everyone. Ale says, morning, Sensei. More monkey business. You never answer my question. Keep going out with different questions. Sensei, why do you never talk about the SHX when it's one of the main players for X? I don't know what SHX is. I apologize. Alpha channel says, love your channel. Found you yesterday. I think, oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you like the channel. Desert in Africa. Yes, very nice, isn't it? Desert meeting sea is always nice. I think they've got a lot of amazing animals as well. RC says 3 p.m. Eastern time. 3 p.m. Eastern time. What time? I think that's very late, isn't it? 3 p.m. Eastern time. I don't think I can cover that one. Maybe Vaz will cover it. It's at 8 p.m. I'll see if Vaz can cover it. Trump speech. 8 p.m. UK. I'll let Vaz know. Maybe he'll be able to cover it for you guys later. Any thoughts on the Bitcoin liquidity heat map? No thoughts. At the moment, market's starting to move now. Yeah, we're about to get into all the market analysis. I'm just going through all the comments and then we'll come on to the main top stories and how to keep your money safe during the crash. Where were we? Good afternoon from Kenya Sensei. Market's starting to move now. Oh, everywhere it's sold out. Wow. That's incredible. Everywhere. The Royal Mint is around 1,415 plus VAT. So that's 20% more expensive. So it'll be 300, 1,700 pounds. I wish I could access, because all my stuff's in a safety deposit box quite far away. So I'm trying to see if I can sort something out for you, Brian. I'll have a think and see if because I think I do have a 1 kilogram bar, but it's a premium bar. It's from one of the German mints. Anyway, I will contact you. Yeah, I wouldn't try going and buying it like as a premium. Look at the spot price. Normally it's going to be about 20-30% more expensive. Jerry says hello. So that does seem fairly reasonable. It seems little bit premiumed, but that's about right from the Royal Mint. Massive says RJ. More monkey business says I don't have gold business. My bullion dealer tells me that people are coming in with scrap silver. Right. Okay. AO says, Sensei, I'm worried about the 1st of November. Well, you shouldn't worry about the 1st of November. You should worry about what's going to happen before the 1st of November, because by the time you're at the 1st of November and if the tariffs are still on to hit on the 1st of November, it's not going to affect you on the 1st of November. The market's going to price it in way before that. They've already tried to price it in. Now they're pricing in maybe a solution will be sorted. So by the 1st of November, we're not going to go. The market's already priced in what's going to occur. So you should be worried about before it, and also, unless you're worried about the impacts it's going to have on your purchase, the price of things in shops, because tariffs obviously cause inflation. So we're going to prepare for it now in today's show. With emotion, with fear, extreme fear when XRP ETFs launch. Brian says, bullion by post, 1,848. Yeah, wow. What is the price of silver right now? Like spot price. What's the spot price of silver right now in pounds? So the spot price right now is 1,270. Of course, no one can really get it at the spot price. Excuse me. And in the UK we have VAT. So the cheapest you'd probably be able to get at 1,300. 1,000. Let me just get a calculator out. See what I don't want anyone paying too much for these things. So 1,270 is spot price. Then we times it by 1.2, and then times 1. Yeah, so a good value would be about 1,000, under 1,600 would be good value. That would be where you're trying to look for. Bullion by post has a terrible premium, it seems, at the moment. You want to be buying it under 1,600 if it's just a bullion bar, which is just nothing additional value to it. You want to be trying to get it for under £1,600. What was that move on Bitcoin? True manipulation. But they're all out of stock as well. Wow. Jamie Reese says, good afternoon, all out of stock. If you are in a KC and sunshine band type of mood and want to put on your boogie shoes, and smash the like button and show your support. David Hensley, I love it. Yes, please do hit the like button. We're interacting with all our chat right now. Then we'll come on to the 6 mistakes everyone's going to potentially make and lose money. And then I'll come on to the top stories, and then we'll go on to the Fed speech. What's your plan for the counter takes for that 1st of November? I'll tell you all my plans in a second. I don't have a specific plan because no one can predict the future. No one knows. Are we going to escalate this trade war a lot more? Is the trade war going to finish tomorrow? Is the deal going to come out? Are we going to wait until the 1st of November? And then there's going to be an escalation? Now, you can't answer these questions, but there's simple questions that are simple fundamentals that take care of all those questions. And I'll come on to them in a second. Just sold homes and bills of true cash, I think. Happy Thursday from Angie and Bruce. Hello, Bruce. Lovely to have you in the show. Happy Thursday to you too. Well, Brian, where you look at? Ricardo says, Sensei, please don't say crash again. You talked about crash Friday morning show and all the markets were red. Yeah, sorry, Ricardo. Yeah, last time we did a crash stream. The markets went down 80%. I really hope that doesn't happen again. But if so, last time I tried to prepare you, I'll try and prepare you again this time. But yeah, to be clear, I'm not predicting a crash today. Sensei, don't. Thank you, Ricardo. Jerry says KG silver is going to be a liquidation issue in my opinion, but it's good to hold just in case. Yeah, I mean, is a KG of it depends. If it does another 2-3x, it might be, but yeah, I think 1 ounce coins are much easier to sell, and you probably get a better price for them. But you'll have to pay a bit extra to get them, so it probably evens out. If you start buying a 10-kilogram bar of silver, it's probably not the best best size to buy, because firstly, it's going to be very hard to verify it's real, and second, it's going to be very hard to sell to a single buyer. What is this Fed speech regarding? It's regarding inflation, interest rates, and something else. Let me get it ready. Interest rates, inflation, and growth. That's the economic outlook. Stronghold token using XLM worth checking tokenomics. Oh, thank you very much. Trick says, oh, again, Fed speech, I'm not holding anything. So, yeah, it's a very volatile time in the market. Stock flash. Is Trump going to say something at 3 p.m.? Well, we don't know, do we? We'll hopefully cover it. Good morning, Luke Zades. Motto ATM. I want to start a trading t-shirt company. First shirt will say TGFH. Thank God for higher lows. Thank God for higher. Oh, thank God for higher lows. Right. Remy says, "Good afternoon from India, Sensei. Welcome, Remy. Glad to have you here. Keep getting internal error. Internal error for what, Jerry? Let me know in the chat. What do you mean internal error? When you say there is a crash, do you sell all your crypto? I wonder if I can put Bloomberg just in the bottom right. Let me see if I can just add something very quickly, because it'll be nice to have. Just give me one moment. Let me see. Let's just go to Bloomberg for 1 second, then I'll come back to you.
Of the Federal Reserve 20 minutes ago, making a case for another interest rate reduction at the end of this month.
And he said the one puzzle, of course, is what's going on in the.
Let me take you to Bloomberg. I just want to see if I can add a Bloomberg screen on this page. So here we go. Let's go over to Bloomberg.
The labor market
and then remember, I'm going to tell you about how to prepare for the crash that I think is pretty much inevitable. And then we'll go on to 6 mistakes, and then we'll go on to the Fed speech. So stay with me, and I'll come back to your comments.
He doesn't care if he doesn't have it. He's looking at everything else. He says the direction of travel is pretty clear.
At the midpoint for October, we're set up for a really interesting back half. 2 weeks away, we're going to get tech earnings. Going into month end, a meeting between Xi and Trump's meeting for the Federal Reserve.
I'm going to have to just pause it for a second because of the music that they're playing. Keep it open there. Let me just check this.
Gonna be really, really hot.
I don't know why they're still playing the music. I'll just keep it there. Let me go back to the comments, and then we'll go to Bloomberg in a second. When you say if there's a crash, you will sell your crypto, is that because you're still in profits, so you'll take profits and buy back in the low? I am in profits, not on everything. I'm in profits from my main position XRP. No, what I meant by that comment was like if I knew there was going to be a crash, whether I'm in profits or whether I'm not in profits, I would sell. But no one knows if there's going to be a crash and how much that crash is going to be, and if you're going to buy back at the bottom. So there's as much as if we knew exactly when a crash was going to happen, like some people are saying, is there going to be a crash today? If I knew, I would sell everything. So that's the point I was making. Let's see if.
United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby on the back of his latest earnings report, and the US Secretary of Energy.
Let's go to Bloomberg.
As national power costs are on the rise. We begin this hour with stocks rallying as traders shift attention from the US-China trade war to the start of earnings season. Lisa's standing by with a special guest. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, John. Yeah, thanks so much. And Anne-Marie was talking about China and the U.S., and there's no one better to talk to than Michael Roberts, CEO of HSBC, a bank, and CEO of the Corporate and Institutional Bank at the region. I'm just curious, given the fact that HSBC, and welcome, is such a central bank in both trade as well as in both China and in the West.
Right.
How significant do you see this latest eruption of trade tensions between the U.S. and China? Does this feel different?
Yeah, no, first of all, thank you for having me today. Look, I think the world has gotten used to a lot of these tariff changes, although certainly this newest round is yet another bit of unpredictability. I think companies have been now looking for different ways to manage their supply chains. survey that we did right after Liberation Day, which I think still holds true today.
Let's listen in for a
surveyed
second.
5,000 clients, so big survey. And they all said, one, all of these tariffs are going to cause a lot of issues. Prices will go up. Two, most of them now are looking at their supply chains. And the word, I think, supply chain has now come to be one of probably the most discussed terms in any C-suite today. And thirdly, they're going to change, and they may even change business models. So this next round, this current round, I think just tells you that they're going to have to significantly change what that is, because 100% tariffs, you can't absorb 100% tariffs. So that means there'll be a greater acceleration to where those new supply chains will be. However, it has been a bit of a whack-a-mole because you have to constantly look at where the next tariffs will come from. And that's been a challenge for many companies. They really have to figure out what is the least vulnerable place they can be, or the most tariff-proof place they can be, and how do they then export into the U.S. or frankly anywhere to make sure that they can do so as effectively as possible.
How much of the extra costs from tariffs been realized? And not just tariffs, but also the rejiggering of supply chains.
Yeah, so rule of thumb, when I've talked to most people, probably
XRP rallying now,
borne by the producer versus the importer. The last 20% now is starting to seep into end buyer, the customer. I think most are saying we
gold at all-time highs once again.
That much additional cost as the importer or the distributor. Therefore, it will start shifting more and more to the end buyer, the client or the customer. So that there's been I think a strong effort, however, to try to absorb as much as possible. So I talked to a retailer, high fashion retailer, saying, me and the distributor, or the producer out of Asia, and me as the distributor are absorbing as much as we possibly can. We understand we could do that, but it will come to an end soon.
John and Anne-Marie were talking to Fed Governor Chris Waller and about the balance between inflation and the labor market. And there's this feeling that any kind of inflation is going to be short-lived, and the effect on the labor market could potentially be pernicious. Are you seeing that companies, instead of raising prices, laying off workers or trying to revert to artificial intelligence to bridge the gaps?
Not yet. However, there's a lot of cost pressures. I think there's a delay, a lot of investment. I mean, that's the flip side of that, because I do think people want predictability. The companies need to understand where they're going to put down a lot of capital, that capital is going to produce good returns. Because
okay, well, that was interesting to hear. Let me go back to your comments, and I think I've got the screen sorted now anyway. Yeah, so you can see, if I make that full screen, you can see Bloomberg in the bottom right. Okay. Keep getting internal error. I don't know what you mean by that. What was the internal error? Can I sell Bitcoin or hold it? You can do either, Remy. I don't give advice. Sorry, Walker Wonders why. I apologize for that. Andrew says, isn't there capital gains tax on bars? Yes, there is. Where can I get it for that price? Where can you get it for that price? It's hard to say because of the fact that you never know. I don't know where you live, but in London, and some jewelers, if you trust someone, if you go to Hatton Garden, you might be able to find a good deal. But again, you have to make sure it's a good reputable place, because a 1 kilogram bar, it's hard to verify if it's real or not. If you go to local jewelers, they might have people selling their 1 kilogram bars, and they might have it in stock, and they might just want to be getting rid of it at a good price. And again, if it's secondhand like that, you don't have to pay as much VAT. You'll still have to pay a premium. Yeah. Where can I get it on for that price? Chards have 100-gram bars. Yeah, CGG on bars. We're thinking about trying to do it on Discord, so all the verified members can sell with each other. But there's not that many people here in the UK, part of this channel, that are into gold and silver. If there's enough interest, we'll try and do it so we have a community that we all trust and can trade between us, because that's much cheaper doing it that way. Yes, GGG on bars. Yes, there is. Thank you for your diligence and on keeping us educated. No worries. I hope the trade will escalate, so there might be a golden dip. RC says, here's my opinion. Prediction: gold will eventually get too high, too expensive, that people will start FOMOing into Bitcoin. Once it gets more volatile, there won't be enough to go around. I don't fully agree with that. Anointed Flower says, good morning, everyone. Syrian says, that's if we're allowed to buy any dips. Where were we? Sometimes it jumps. I have to just go back up. Guys, join the silver forum. I've been buying from a trusted seller and ain't getting and getting good buys. 5% above spot in most cases. Yeah, but there's still a risk. I smelt that that I'm going to end up working at McDonald's. Jason says morning. Brian says thanks for the advice. We'll probably get more coins. Yeah, a 1 kilogram bar's great if you can trust it and you can get it. I'll see if I can get one for you, Brian. But yeah, coins are always safer to get, and you don't have to get the capital gains on it. Sick Boy Custom says, good morning, everyone from Surrey, back from Sao Paulo now. Oh, lovely. You went there to get married or to look at venues, or was that someone else? Thomas MC says you need to pay to join the Silver Forum £10, but it's a really good platform for buying and swapping coins. It's worth if you're a serious star. Yeah, we're going to try and do something ourselves here. Jerry Mandarin says, good shout. Jerry says the baseline for ounce coins now must be at 47. The baseline for ounce coins now must be 47. What's the price for 1 ounce coins now? Let's have a quick look. Yeah, without VAT, they're about 50 quid. Yeah. If you want to actually buy it, yeah, but just under £50. But again, what is Billion by Post selling it for? £61. That's a big, that's 20% increase. Brian says, I have to pay tax. If I sell my crypto, I have to pay tax. Well, that's above, if you're above the limit of, I think it's £3,000 in the UK. It used to be much more, £12,000 just a few years ago, but now it's £3,000 if you're above that capital gains tax limit. If you have no losses to go against it, remember you can carry forward your loss about 4 years, then you have to pay tax at 18%. Yeah, that's the base tax rate, I think. Ale says, last Friday I was down for 10,000 and now at 6,000. No, I'm not selling. I'm long, but what a ride. Yes, it is a big ride. So I have to pay around 5k in tax. I'm not sure. Tax, lovely tax as long as. It's always better paying tax than putting down a loss though. MP Mineral is a queue for USA chip. Also, Argentina is about to give their rare mineral, also Ukraine same path. I'm going to go through all the comments because we've got a lot to get through before the Fed speech starts. TSM earnings, yes. We'll come on to what happened with the TSM earnings. Can we gauge and monitor Binance's actions to predict the next crash? Probably not, no. It's not as simple as that. Nada, one of our new members, Nada said, thought there weren't any capital gains tax on gold, or is that just coins? Yeah, so in the UK, I don't know about other jurisdictions. In the UK, or at least in England, there's no capital gains tax on legal tender. So legal tender is not, no bar is legal tender. It's like Britannia coins, sovereigns in gold, 1 ounce coin, whichever one's like a Royal Mint issued legal tender coin, then that is a sort of capital gains tax free. Don't know what's going to happen to TSM or China grab mineral group gallium or other chips for builds. Syrian says, don't think. Oh, Siri thought I was talking to it. No. Syrian Marshall, don't think so. That short was strategic. Jerry says, I know a place in Scottsboro. Thank you, Jerry. Well, I don't know where that is. Let's find out where Scottsboro is. Jerry knows a place. Jerry knows a place. Is it local? It's a town in England. Where is it? Where is this town in England? Let's go to the maps. You know a place in Scottsboro. That is in near Leeds, near York by the beach. Too far for me.
Speaking at a news conference in Washington, Besant said there's a very good chance that he travels to Asia to meet with his Chinese counterpart, Vice Premier He Lifeng. Elsewhere, Bank of America and Bank of New York Mellon Court were hit by lawsuits over alleged ties to Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking scheme. The lawsuit accusing the banks of knowingly providing financial services that enabled the scheme for years.
Goodness, there we go. More from Epstein. That's Bank of America tied to that. What other news is there?
From its AI division, with the executive leading its Siri search project leaving for Meta. Qi Yang.
Oh, once again, people are poaching people from Apple. Apple is losing. Meta is giving up they're offering people millions a year to move to Meta. These AI people, and they're leaving. They're all leaving Apple. I mean, wouldn't you if you got paid a few million a year? You would leave, and they've got like 5-10 year contracts. Anyway, that was interesting. Scott Bessent there might be traveling to China, so the market is probably rallying on that news. Tax. I'm going to go through all the comments, and then we're going to come on to the main stories. Also, Argentina is about to give their rare earth minerals. Also, Ukraine, same path. There will be a crash at Comics. No silver. JP Morgan has 750 ounces, so they say. TSM. Oh, we've gone through this, I think. I know a place in Scottsboro. Hatton Garden is a good place to trade gold and silver. Plus, there's an assay office near St. Paul's Cathedral. Oh, DJ Haynes. Thanks for all that information. Nick the Beluga says, I only hold USDC now. If Martyn's right, I'm good. If Martyn's wrong, I'm not richer, but at least I don't have to go work at McDonald's. There we go. There's always a good time to get in the markets, I think. Brandy says, is iShares Silver Trust a good investment if the market crashes? Silver's a bit more risky than gold, so if we go risk off, then silver might go down as well, but it's a weird place because interest rates going down is great for gold and silver. The geopolitical situations is great for gold and silver. Federal banks around the world buying gold is great for gold and silver. The US dollar going down and the trust being lost in the US is great for the US dollar. It's great for the. It's not bad for the US dollar. It's good for gold and silver. So, in theory, if the markets crash, gold and silver tend to crash as well. But it depends how fast we crash, what the actual reason of the crash is. But right now, because we're in such a good uptrend in gold and silver, I would expect us to actually rally on a semi-mild market crash. If we go down 20-30% in a day, everything seems to crash. If you go Norway, you can buy silver bullions VAT free. So we all take a trip to Norway, but then you probably have to pay the VAT when you come back. More Monkey Business says, don't buy anything from someone else who comes to tarmac your drive. Don't buy anything from someone who's come to tarmac your drive. Okay, thank you for that information. Thomas says, if you buy Britannias and then bring them back, is considered legal tender. Oh, interesting. Sensei, if you saw the expos Martyn lately about holding XRP, he meant in general or the ones with margin ETC. He explained that last week about, but I'm curious. I think Martyn was saying in his expos, I remember he did a post on XRP. What did he say? He said, yeah, he loves the technology, but he couldn't hold it right now. I think he was talking in general, leverage or no leverage. Let's go. Bloomberg is, here we go.
And the pre-market, about 182. Big move. That's what him and the team are looking for. Equity futures on the S&P 500, firmer at the moment, up by a third, up by 0.5 on the NASDAQ. That's the price action into the...
We're up for now. We need to get ready for this crash, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to quickly go through these last comments. Scarborough, fair enough. If you buy silver from bullion buy post and leave it in their vaults, you do not have to pay the VAT or capital gains. But then at that point, you might as well just buy an ETF and then you pay less fees because it's very expensive to do that. Even if they say no fees, but you're paying quite a big premium. Ale says, well, what news? Has anyone looked into liquid metal gold and silver stocks ETF? Any insight in buying these into liquid metal gold and silver stocks? No, I haven't. C Marty says, good morning, Sensei in chat. What are we looking for today? Well, we've got a few things we're looking at. There's a Fed speech in, we're going to be moving over to our next stream, starting a Fed speech from Fed Waller. That's all about, and I'll show you what it's all about. Let me put the link on the screen over here. That's what we're going to next. It is the economic outlook, Fed's 2025 economic outlook. It's on interest rates, inflation, and growth. So that's what we're going to next. What else do we have? We've got the 6 big mistakes people make, and that's us getting prepared for a crash. Remember, we don't know when or how or what's going to cause it, but we do know we're severely overvalued. We do know we're very overvalued, even if earnings beat. So we don't want to prepare for the crash without trying to time the market. So that's another thing we're going through today. Plus, we've got some top stories. I'll go to that in about 2 minutes' time. Just about to get through all the comments. I'll just do members' comments now. Good to know. Thanks. No worries. Wow, what news? Does anyone know? Good morning. Sense of what we're looking at today. People are leaving Apple because they give our data to the government. You don't think Meta does? Sherlock says if the market crashes, is it? I don't think these people that are earning millions of dollars a year really care where the data's going. And we're talking about executives here. They were talking about AI experts here. That Meta is paying millions a year to get them to leave. If market crashes, is it reasonable to keep your capital in stablecoins, particularly USDC? Yeah, pretty reasonable. I mean, I don't think USDC is going to depeg. You can always just transfer it to cash though as well. Jamie Reese says on a market crash, how long does a recovery typically take? Weeks, months, or years? Depends when. The .com era took years. The COVID crash took months. The 2022 crash took a year. Depends if it's like a quick recession, or like the bank stocks have still not recovered from 2008, but tech stocks have thousands of percent since 2008. So it depends what we're actually looking at, what recovery, what stocks. Is this live now? Yep, we're live right now. We had the crash the other day. Powell says it's possible for PACs to drop and wick down. I don't think Jerome Powell has spoken about a stable coin. Love Britannia's, by the way. If everyone's thinking we're crashing, guess what? We're going up. Yeah, we are bullish today. Yeah, okay, yeah, you saw the fear and greed index. We were fearful, but we're actually going up. That tends to happen. Sort of goes the opposite of what everyone thinks. Let's go over to our top stories of today and then go into our Fed speech. So Paxos accidentally mints 300 trillion. That's enough to wipe out the US debt. And then they had to quickly burn it all. So in a striking on-chain incident, Paxos, the issuer of PayPal's US dollar-backed stablecoin PYUSD, accidentally minted 300 trillion worth of the tokens during an internal transfer on October the 15th before burning the excess within 30 minutes. The erroneous mint was briefly visible on Etherscan, prompting Aave to freeze PYUSD deposits as a precaution. Paxos confirmed it was a technical internal error, not a hack, adding that no customer funds or reserves was affected. Imagine that as a hack. Imagine going in, creating all these tokens, 300 trillion, withdrawing the money. You could just pay off. That would cause a lot of inflation globally, wouldn't it? It's a bit scary. Anyway, but it's what the US government can do anyway. The US government can print as much as they like. So it's all a bit scary when it's not backed by anything. Again, that's why gold, silver, Bitcoin is going up. The scale of error, equivalent to more than double global GDP, dwarf PYUSD's roughly 3 billion circulating supply, briefly causing a 0.5% depeg before stabilization. The company's ability to mint and destroy trillions of tokens within minutes underscores the extraordinary control centralized issuers maintain over digital money supply. That's the issue with anything centralized. Don't think this is just crypto. This is anything. This is all the US dollars in circulation. It's centralized. Someone can just say print, and then we print. For investors, this episode highlights 3 critical risks in stablecoin ecosystems: centralized control over issuance redemption, allowing supply changes of magnitude. Number 2, operational fragility. Number 3, the absence of automated safeguards. Do go and check this article out. I will skip it for now, just because we're coming up to the Fed report and we've got more to go through. Here was the story about the trade wars. So Bessent, Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, draws a line. Market declines won't stop US from hitting China hard. They literally said they don't care about the stock market when it comes to China. So Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has put markets on notice that Washington will not back down from its tough trade stance towards China, even in the face of equity volatility. Speaking on CNBC's Invest in America forum, Bessent said bluntly, "We won't negotiate because the stock market is going down." He's not doing it, but they're not gonna. It's not gonna affect their negotiations, or so they say. Or so they say. I mean, if the market comes down 30-40%, I think they've got to bring the markets back up, or no one would really be too happy with Trump if the markets are crashing and they don't do anything about it. So they're saying this, but if it's down enough, I'm sure they will negotiate. So he emphasized, just like last time, he emphasized the US strategy will be driven by long-term national and economic priorities, not short-term market swings. calling recent sell-off noise, not policy input. The statement followed days of volatility triggered by President Trump's proposal of 100% tariffs on Chinese imports, a move that briefly sent the S&P 500 down 2% and cryptocurrencies down 80% before partially rebounding on speculation of a softer stance. Bessant's comments marks a decisive signal that market reactions will no longer dictate US policy direction, reinforcing the administration's view that strategic resilience outweighs near-term market comfort. Behind the scenes, Washington's rhetoric towards Beijing has hardened further. Bessant and US Trade Representative Jameson Gear accused China of weaponizing its exports restrictions on rare earths and high-tech materials, describing the measure as a coordinated supply chain power grab. The administration is preparing countermeasures, including expanded export controls and targeted tariffs on sectors such as semiconductors, EV batteries, and solar components. While Bessant left the doors open for extending the current 90-day pause if Beijing steps back, he stressed that any diplomatic resolution must be earned through negotiation, not triggered by market pressure. Analysts view this as a clear signal that the US is decoupling trade and financial policy, a shift that could reshape the feedback loop between geopolitics and investor sentiment. With Washington taking a harder line, investors can no longer rely on market declines to prompt a policy pivot. The decoupling of trade strategy from equity performance raises the likelihood of sustained volatility, especially across supply chains sensitive like tech, autos, and energy. Markets may now need to price in real geopolitical persistence rather than short-term relief rallies. Yep, we're going to get more volatile. Everything's about to get more volatile. So I'm actually going to go on to our main story now and then come back to a few of our other stories. If you haven't got the newsletter, this is all in our newsletter every single day. So there is the link for the newsletter. Remember, we are going to be increasing the price of the monthly plan, so this might be your last chance to test out that monthly plan. There is a free trial as well for the yearly plan, and there is a free plan. Let me come on to and anyone obviously on the monthly plan, that's not going to increase in price. It's later. So let me do this, and I'm going to do this as a video. Excuse me. So let me do a video. Let me take off the countdown just for now. Or should I keep the countdown on? We'll take the countdown off while we do this video. Make sure we are recording. Okay. There we go. Breaking news on Martyn Lucas investor. Is a crash about to come? Well, we can never time the market, but we can get ready for the crash. This is the 6 mistakes wiping out retail investors in 2025. This is part of our newsletter from today. It's the first link in the description. We're talking about potential crashes. We've got tariffs coming up. We've got AI bubbles. We've got people saying crypto's too overvalued. We've got a lot of volatility, and we don't want to start timing the market, but we want to be prepared for it. So in today's deep dive, we're talking about the psychology of market mistakes in a bubble era. We've got many, many mistakes people make, and mistakes I've made in the past, and mistakes many people have made. But if you haven't made them yet, please, please don't make these mistakes. And if you've made them before, don't make them again. Let me list those mistakes for you so you don't make them. So the reason we're talking about them now is valuations are stretched, momentum is narrow, and volatility is rising. With AI stocks driving most of S&P 500 gains and tariff headlines shaking sentiment, the market feels increasingly fragile. In these conditions, the difference between growing and losing capital often comes down to discipline. Below are 6 of the most common and most expensive mistakes active investors make, backed by data and practical ways to avoid them. I'm not making these up. I'm going to give you the statistics. This applies to the stock market. This applies to the crypto market. This applies to leverage trading. This applies to anything investing wise. So please do take notes of these. Please do understand them properly. Please don't make these mistakes. I want everyone watching this video, any member, any subscriber, any viewer, to make money. I don't want anyone losing money, and these mistakes can help you a lot. Again, I never give financial advice, but these are statistics. So 97% of day traders lose money. That's a statistic. Get your head over it, understand it, and what we're talking about here. So the striking figure comes from a detailed academic study by Brazil's Sao Paulo School of Economics titled Day Trading for a Living. Remember, we've seen the statistics everywhere. Some people say 95, 97, 90, 99. The figures there. Let me explain exactly how not to fall into this category, because it's very hard to be that 1%. So the researchers tracked nearly 20,000 retail future traders. Remember, these are retail futures traders on Brazil's main exchange over several years to see exactly who made money. The results were brutal. After 300 days trading, remember, this is over the long term. This isn't just one person coming in, making a trade, and then leaving. This is people that were consistently learning, consistently trading. After 300 days of trading, 97% of traders had lost money. 97% of traders lost money. And only 1% consistently earned profit. Barely enough to beat Brazil's minimum wage. The study found that transaction costs, slippage, emotional trading decisions quickly compounded losses, making it almost impossible for frequent short-term traders to sustain gains. In short, the 97% figure isn't just an internet myth. It's based on hard data showing that most day traders, especially in fast-moving futures markets, lose over time due to structural and psychological disadvantages. This is the futures market. This is leverage trading. Let me just, someone's tried to call me. Let me, excuse me, I don't know why that came through. So this is leverage trading. This is the futures market. It's incredibly risky. This applies to leverage trading as well. If you're trading with leverage 1x, 2x, day in, day out, not just a long-term position with a little bit of leverage, that's a bit different. If you're day trading every single day with leverage on the futures market, with options, with calls, just stop. Don't do it. Give up. You're going to be the 97% in most scenarios, unless, and the only way to do it is to go onto an account that's funded, that's fake funded, like a lot of these places do it. Don't use your real money until you can prove to yourself that you are profitable for at least 3 or 4 months. Then get into the market and do it. And then you have to have a trading journal. You have to understand the risk. You have to understand all sorts. But for most people, like 99% of people watching this video right now, don't leverage trade, don't futures trade. You will become the 97%. You will lose money. That is the hard truth. That is the statistical truth. Swing trading, it's still a bit risky, but if you're swing trading, which is what I do mostly, which is what I use my charts for, the reason I do charts is not because I want to do leverage positions every day, it's because I want to find good companies. So I look at the fundamentals, I look at them at good value levels, and then I buy them for a swing trade or for a long-term trade. The companies mostly I buy and the cryptos I mostly buy, I buy because I'm happy to hold them long-term, even if the trade doesn't go well. If I get liquidated, then holding long term means nothing, because you might think you're a long term holder, but if you get liquidated, you don't have that asset anymore. I do a little amount of leverage trading, but I do it on a separate account with about 5% of my total portfolio. It's a very, very small amount. And I got wiped out on Friday as well. So I'm not immune from it either. Not at all. So just leverage trading, futures trading, day trading with leverage, don't do it. 97% of people lose money. Leverage magnifies losses faster than gains. So leverage remains one of the most common ways retail accounts are wiped out. The United Kingdom Financial Conduct Authority reports that 82% of CFD traders lose money. So if you're on Trading 212 on any exchange trying to do CFD leverage positions, 82% of you lose money. Don't do it. When markets look unstoppable, whether it's AI, semiconductors, or tariff-linked rallies, investors often borrow to enhance returns, but even small reversals can trigger forced liquidations or margin calls, erasing months of progress in hours. So you can see the percentage is lower in this case. This is sort of leverage trading. So if you're buying with leverage on a dip or stuff, it's much easier to get this one right than trading every single day with leverage. It's sort of a swing trade with leverage. It's easier to get this right. It's more likely you're in that 20%. But you need to control your emotions and everything like that. So again, it's for most people, don't leverage trade, don't CFD trade, even over more of a long-term period. Okay, let's go on to some. For most people are probably not going to listen to me, but anyway, let's go to some more things not to do that could be more achievable by most people. So make sure you are subscribing. Make sure you have hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below. What lessons have you learnt? Have you made money leverage trading, future trading? I want to know. Are you part of the 1% or the 20%? Let me know in the comments. What mistakes have you made that you want other people to look out for? Also, what another mistake is just scammers. Nothing to do with you, but remember, people impersonate me, people impersonate Martyn, people will try and call you pretending they're your bank, people will try and call you pretending they're Coinbase. If it seems too good to be true, if someone's offering you rewards or asking you to move your finances, me and Martyn will never do that. In terms of Coinbase scams, people start calling you pretending that they're Coinbase and you need to act quickly, so they make you panic. And then they also start saying, give me the code that comes up on your screen, and that verifies that that's me. Essentially, you're giving them your two-factor authentication code. So don't fall for these scams. If a bank ever calls you, if Coinbase ever calls you, they shouldn't be calling you. You have to find a way to contact them. Go through the proper channels to contact them. That's always a red flag. If someone says move your funds around, that's a red flag. If someone asks for a code, that's a red flag. There's many red flags. Be very careful in this day and age. That's the most annoying way to lose money. Anyway, retail investors buy the dip too early. This is something that we might fall into. Seems to be a market crash on the way, but the issue could be people could buy the dip too early. So retail traders often see early declines as opportunities, only to watch those dips turn into deeper sell-offs. In 2025, Saxo Bank reported that retail flows spiked during initial pullbacks, while institutions stayed cautious. So retail investors, the volume went up. The retail investors started to buy the dips very early. Institutions didn't. You need to act more like institutions. They buy close to the bottom. They don't buy too early. They don't wait for a 1%, 2% dip. They wait for a 20% dip and then buy big. So this premature dip buying has repeatedly led to drawdowns as structural risk or sentiment shifts extend losses. If you look at something like XRP, we were at $3.30, we went to $3.20. Someone said, I'm buying the dip. We went to $3.10. I'm buying the dip, $3. I'm buying the dip. We went all the way down to 80 cents on Binance, on $1.50, $2. That's buying the dip. If you wait until buying at $1.50, $1.80, that's a dip in crypto. A dip in crypto is 30, 40%. A dip in the stock market is about 10, 20, 30%. A dip on an individual high-risk stock is about 50, 60, 70%. You can't just buy the dip every 2% it goes down. You run out of money and you won't actually take advantage of the drop. The fix is patience and scale. Enter in stages instead of committing full capital at once. And that's why I use the charts. That's why I love using the charts, because we've got these support levels. Again, the link to the Discord where I teach you all about charts is in the comment section below, or become an Electrum member and you can learn it through our Sunday live shows. I can see where the support is and I just ladder in with patience and ladder. And if I miss it, I miss it. But I don't want to be buying 2% dips on a stock, because I won't have any money to buy a more significant dip. So the fix is patience and scale. Enter in stages instead of committing full capital at once. Wait for confirmation, higher lows, rising volume, or technical reversals before adding size. Buying too early is often more expensive than waiting. Another one, FOMO-driven trades lead to higher losses. Everyone FOMOs. Try and control your emotions. Roughly 73% of retail traders admit, I'm sure there's more that don't admit to FOMO-driven trades. And these positions are associated with losses up to 65% larger than planned. Fear of missing out pushes investors to enter late after major moves when risk reward is least attractive. Remember that. We love people who FOMO because they'll be our exit liquidity when crypto goes up. But you don't want to be. I don't want anyone here to be. Unfortunately that's the way it works. I don't like anyone losing money, but if I can choose who loses money, it's not the ones that are watching this video today. So FOMO. People buy in too late. They start buying in when everyone is talking about it. They start buying in when it's already too high. And the issue with that is the risk to reward is outweighed at that point. If XRP is at $7, $8, $5, what's the reward? If it's at $5, maybe you'll get 2x. If it's at $7, maybe 30% or something like that. But the risk is an 80, 90% correction. even at $3, the risk reward for XRP was not brilliant, because we went from 30 cents to $3. At 30 cents, at 50 cents, at 70 cents, the risk reward was much, much better. So be careful with these FOMOs, because you're using your emotion and you're getting in at quite a bad risk to reward level. The best defense is structure. Every trade should have a defined entry, stop, target before execution. Know when you're going to sell, know when you're going to buy, know when you're going to buy more, and all of those sorts of things. When a stock or sector surges, step back for 24 to 48 hours to reassess. If you find yourself reacting emotionally to social media or headlines, reduce size or step aside entirely. Take a break. The disposition effect, selling winners too early and holding losers too long. This is a big one, and I guarantee people have done this. This is a massive, massive loser for people, and it's so frustrating, because this is when retail investors choose the right stocks, they sell too early, and they look at it later and they go, wow, that could have made me generational wealth, or that could have made me a light amount of money. And then instead they start buying their losers, keep buying their losers as it goes down, and then they lose all their money. So behavioral finance studies show that investors tend to lock in small profits quickly while clinging on to long losing positions. This is the issue. You take profits too early and you hold on to your losers. Terrible. Don't do it. Behavioral finance studies show that investors tend to lock in small profits quickly while clinging on to losing positions, a bias known as the disposition effect. It stems from loss aversion. The pain of losing outweighs the satisfaction of small gains. Counter this by systemizing exits. Trail profitable positions instead of closing them arbitrarily. For underperforming trades, set predefined loss thresholds and adhere to them. Regularly review positions with no clear catalyst for recovery and reallocate capitals to stronger setups. So essentially, this is like most people do it. You buy a basket of goods and your Tesla position, and you've got Tesla, Nvidia, SPCE, for example, over the last 5 years. Tesla goes up 10%. You sell a little bit, it goes up another 20% because you're like, I want to lock in these profits. I want to be a successful trader. You lock in those profits. Nvidia goes up 10, 20%, you sell it. And you've locked in those profits, waiting for your next position. Then you've got SPCE, which has gone down 20%, you buy in. It goes down another 20%, you buy in. So you've done the other one, which is you buy the dip too early. And then SBC goes down another 50%, and then you buy more with additional funds. And then it goes down even more, and then you buy it. And then SBC goes down for 5 years. So I apologize, I'm using SBC as an example, but a lot of people know what I mean. SBC has been going down. This is a stock, high risk. It goes down for 5 years. And what you've done is you've held on to your loser, which was in a downtrend. You've put all your money into a loser. You've been adding to the losing stock, while Tesla's gone up 500%, while Nvidia's got up 1,500% or 2,000%. So what you've done is you've sold your winners too early. You've bought your losers, and you've been keep buying the losers on dips because you thought that's the dip to buy on. That's the dip to buy on. Do not sell your winners early, because those are the ones that are going to earn you money. And if you've got a losing position, if it doesn't have the stronger fundamentals, if it doesn't seem to be in an uptrend, don't keep pouring money into it. You've got your position, hold your position. If it drops 50%, maybe add more. If it drops another 50%, don't buy the dip too early, and don't focus on your losers. Focus on your winners, because those are the ones that are probably going to make you money. So that's a very, very important one. Panic selling locks in permanent losses. So again, the final one here is when a crash comes, people are going to panic sell, and that's probably not going to be the best idea, especially on their winning stock. So during sharp market declines, many investors exit at the worst possible moment. That's called panic selling. Lots of people did it on the last tariff crash. What we did was the opposite. We bought big. Martyn bought big live on the show. We were talking about the technicals and how this is a point to be buying. So during sharp market declines, many investors exit at the worst possible moment. A 2022 MIT study on investor behavior found that panic sellers tend to underperform by roughly 9% over the following year, missing the eventual rebound. Because when you panic sell, when are you going to buy back in? Firstly, the emotion means that you're fearful, and when the market's fearful, the market normally bottoms. So first of all, you're probably selling near a bottom. Secondly, when are you going to buy back in? If you're already panicking, the market's probably not going to go down too much more, and then you have the issue of buying back in. So that's why you tend to underperform. Prevent starting long position before a sell-off. So again, you can understand how to sort that out yourself. So in overheated markets, Discipline becomes a competitive advantage. If you want to win, if you want to beat everyone else, you have to be disciplined. Every major correction from 2000 to 2008 to 2022 has punished overconfidence more than ignorance. The investors who keep their gains are rarely those who predict the top. Remember, what does Martyn always say that we love? It's making money's the easy part. Keeping it is the hard part. So it's important to hold on to that money as well. So the investors who keep their gains are rarely those who predict the top, but those who manage risk when the crowd forgets to. So I really, really hope that people take some notes and people learn, because too many people, especially people that are in crypto, that are in high risk stocks, forget about all these basic rules that can turn you from being someone who's losing money, someone who's not making the gains they should, to a very profitable and long-term investor and making the right decision. So I really do hope at least one of those points helps you. I would take notes of all of those points I made. That's all from our newsletter. Do check out the newsletter, first link in the description. There'll be 2 videos here for you to look at. But until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. I really hope that helps some people, because they are some... I'm not immune to any of those things. I'm going to be completely honest. If we go over here, if we go to each of these points, I mean, I'm sure I've done every single one of these, and I might still be doing some. Day trading, lose money. When I started out, all I was doing was day trading, and I was losing. I had some great gains, but then 3 months down the line, I would emotionally trade with leverage because I lost some money, and I would revenge trade and I'd lose it all. So yeah, I've been part of that statistic. Leverage magnifies losses faster than gains. Yes, even on Friday, I got liquidated because of how quickly the market dropped. Again, I was prepared for it. It's not like I haven't learned from my mistakes previously, but it was a small percentage of my portfolio. I've always said don't leverage trade. I've always said if you're going to leverage trade, do it with a small amount of your portfolio. I bought the dip, so it's I've managed my risk. However, yeah, it's happened to me. Leverage can get you liquidated. There's no way you can get that money back. Retail investors buy the dip too early. I've definitely done this in the past. Whenever I bought the dip too early, 2020, after in the bear market of 2022. So when 2021, when Bitcoin topped out, I was buying XRP too early. I was buying it at $1.50, $1. I bought it too early, but then obviously I got more at 30 cents. So I did buy the dip too early then as well. FOMO-driven trades leading to higher losses. When have I FOMO'd? I've probably FOMO'd many times. I can't think of an example, but most of these I've managed to really, really get cut down on in the last 3 or 4 years, and I've become a much, much more profitable trader just from these easy points. FOMO, I've probably FOMO'd before, I'll probably FOMO again, but you need to understand what FOMOing does and try not to FOMO. I'm trying to think, have I FOMO'd recently? I bought some gold and silver recently. I guess that's maybe FOMOing. But again, if you're FOMOing and you're going into long-term investment, then it's normally fine. It's normally when you FOMO into high-risk, highly volatile stocks and tokens when it's bad. The deposition of selling winners too early. Oh, I've done this. This is my biggest mistake, is selling winners too early and holding losers too long. I sold Nvidia way too early. I sold Tesla. It was at $10. It went up to $100. This is in 2018, 2019. I sold it. It went up another 10x. I sold my winners too early, and I've probably held my losers too long. I probably took some of that money and put it into my losers. So that is a massive, massive one. Selling the winners too early. Panic selling locks in permanent losses. I don't think I've panic sold before, to be fair. But yeah, most of these I don't do anymore, and it's worked out really well. So don't be in denial. I'm sure everyone here is doing one of those things. Just try and work on it and try and sort it out, because that is the one thing better than choosing the right stocks, being in the right markets. This is going to help me make money more than any of those things that are much harder, which is trying to find the right stocks, etc., etc. So I hope that helps. We're about to go over to Fed Jerome Powell, not Jerome Powell, it's Fed Waller with a speech from the Fed. So let me put this on the screen. Let me put in Fed speech next. There we go. And that's crazy. We lost viewers during that because it's boring. It's no one wants to hear that sort of stuff, but that's the stuff that's important. I don't care if we lose viewers when we talk about things that are going to change. The people that stay, the members that watch, they're going to come out on top because they hear those facts. The people that find it boring are the ones that are going to continue to lose money, and not. Yeah. Anyway. I like being the 1%. There you go. Maybe a crash. Good morning, Sensei. Remember what happened April this year, and try not to forget what happened after. Yep. I made money this morning with 50x long on XRP. Congratulations. When we are this deep, I never FOMO'd. Congratulations, Josh. Tim Rogers says, Sensei, good morning. And love to have you here, Tim Rogers. Good morning and great show. Just allocated so much money annually to a stock market position over the 5 years. If you plan to hold, just dollar cost average monthly. Sounds like you're enjoying the show today. FET says FET has already fallen 92% from the highs. Wow. Imagine trying to buy every single dip on that. Imagine moving money from a profitable asset into that because you're trying to sell your winners to buy the losers. The tax locks are golden. Gold fell down. All ready to short. Killer man, thank you, Sensei. No worries. Thank you for that information, Sensei. No worries, Jamie Reese. I really hope it helps. Even if it helps one person, I'll be happy. 39 PE, S&P 500, 39 PE. I don't know what you mean, Songs for Space, because that's not the S&P 500's price at the moment. If silver pushed back, or it's not even the S&P 500 is, I've got a different value, I've got a different value of 6,700 for the S&P 500 right now. So I don't know quite what you mean by that. If silver pull back, what do you think it'll drop to? I don't know. I'm not looking at silver chart right now. XRP, we're just finishing up the comments. If you want to do a chart request, you can do spreading nonsense. Spreading nonsense. Apparently, I'm spreading nonsense, guys. All of those statistics from universities, all those mistakes everyone makes, I'm spewing nonsense. There we go. That's all I'm doing. It's people, I don't know what to say. I just panic sold right now. I'm in a loss. So says Sammy. Just try and work on yourself and take notes of all of them. Go back and make notes of them. It'll be game changing for you. Brian says, Sensei, will you be telling us when you'll be selling when the market starts to crash? Yeah, I will be, but my situation is very different. I'm happy to hold through the crash because I'll just buy at the bottom. That's what I've planned for. I've planned to hold through the crash. I don't think I'm going to sell, in all honesty. I might. I don't know. I'll tell you what I do, but it's not something you should follow. My situation is different. Jose says, I appreciate this. I'm going to keep saying your channel is gold. You're teaching us the psychology of investing and how to think like big institutions. Exactly. Thank you. Like the look of HNST. Thank you, Yeston, for popping in. Jamie says, agreed. I just panicked. I apologize that you just panicked. Hopefully you, it might work out to be the right thing. XRP might go down further. I'm not saying don't sell your investments. I'm saying, understand the rules of investing. Motto A team, another good one is focus on technicals over storylines. 9 out of 10 times the story will match the technicals. Yep, that's why technicals are great to go alongside that, because you actually have a less biased opinion of everything because you can look at the charts. 30% more drop, and technicals go along with each of those points: when to buy in, how to not buy in every 2% down, all those sorts of things. Is the rate cut? We will get more announcements in about 2 minutes, but this is not the FOMC meeting, so we're not expecting any rate cuts to occur. The boring stuff makes you money. Yeah, the boring stuff makes you money. Maybe short the Trump trade, critical minerals. I don't give any advice like that. Thank you for your education this morning. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you, Steve. We listen, teacher. Don't worry. Thank you, human being. Walker wonders why. Don't do that song. Don't do that song. That's my bag. Lol. The company is up 700%, 3 months, valued at $4 billion, has 4 employees. Trump pump dump. Oh god. Walker wonders why. True. I sold mine at 35% profit the other day. I definitely FOMO, but didn't buy much, so I was okay. Oh, brilliant, Brian. I'm glad you're okay. Nonny is here, member for 2 years. Sensei, thanks for the great tips. The advice definitely helps us all. Unfortunately, part of the learning curve. Yes, it is. Thank you, Nonny, for being here. Thank you for being a member for 2 years. Look at that 2-year badge. I love it. We're coming on to the Fed meeting in a second. Hit the like button. Everyone says, Jim, yes, please do hit the like button. And do subscribe to the newsletter for stuff like that every single trading day, and the Saturday Avatar newsletter. I really take to heart in what you say, Sensei. It makes me panic way less than I would normally. What percentage do you predict the crash on XRP? If we go into a bear market, we've already gone down to 80 cents on Binance. We've already gone down to 150 on most exchanges. If we crash, then we can go down to 50 cents to $1. If we crash from today, if we go into a bull market, go to $10, then maybe we crash to $3. 80% crash is very, very likely in a bear market. Hi Sensei, do you think I think I'll sell some of my XRP if it gets to $10 this year. That would be a good decision, Brian, in my opinion. I know you expect a lot higher from XRP, and that goes against what I said about keeping a winner's ride, but 30 cents to $10. I mean, that's pretty good for a bull run. What do you think about Beam? I have no opinions. Walker wonders why. Hey man, wouldn't that be something that randomly came out and announced rate cuts early? Markets would boom. Markets will crash if they actually did that. So if they came out and announced rate cuts early, what that would be called an emergency rate cut, and that would show a lot of panic, fear, uncertainty. The markets will crash on that. Okay, let's go over to the Fed, but then I'll drop and buy back in. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's when I'll be selling. So I won't be selling if we crash into a bear market now. I'll be selling if we go to our targets, and then I'll buy back. And Walker wonders why panic rate cuts not good. Yeah, not good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, we're going over to Fed. So I'm going to redirect this stream. We're going to go over to the next stream. It's starting very shortly. We've got a Fed speech. So what I'm going to do is give you the link. It's only going to be on the same channel, same place. It's just the next stream. So where is the link for it? Let me get this. So let me just give you all the links. So now we're going over to the Fed speech on the next show. So let me give you this. I'll pin it up above. So you can already go there. I'm not going to talk about anything else for the next minute. I'm going to end the stream. That's the link. If you click on that link, let me get rid of this background now. Actually, I'll put Fed here. That's where we're going. Yeah, so if you click on this link I've just given you in the chat, it's now going to be pinned as well. Let me pin it. Click on this link, go straight there, hit the like button. I'll be live in the next couple minutes on the next stream. This is, you can see on the bottom right hand side of my screen, this is the Fed 2024 economic outlook. We've got a Fed speech on interest rates, inflation, and growth. So we don't want to miss this because this will move the market. So that's where we're going now. The link is there. If you stay where you are, the stream will automatically redirect you to the next one. But go straight there. First thing to do is hit the like button and leave a comment. So I hope everyone enjoyed today's stream and took a few things away. So until next time, which is literally in 30 seconds, I'll end this and start the next one. Going over to the Fed. Take care of yourselves and each other. Click that link or wait, and this will automatically take you there. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.